Good morning. It's Monday after the holidays and after another week of the holidays. So I'm here to talk about books. I read a couple of holiday books that I'm going to talk about specifically, but the first book I want to cover is Once and Future Witches. Okay. Miss Arnold recommended this, and we bought it, and I snatched it off her to read pile and read it first, and it's so good. So it's about three sisters, and it's set back in like the 1800s. Like, it's not all the early 1900s. It's not all the way back to the witch trials, but it does take place in New Salem after they've driven out all the witches and like burned down old Salem, so to speak. And these three sisters have powers, but they've been separated. Two of them left home when the youngest one was still a child, and she was left on her own with, a horrible father and a grandmother who passed away and could no longer really protect her. But they meet up again in New Salem. I love a good witch book. This is definitely a good witch book. I love a good historical book. This is definitely a good historical book. But it's also mystical. There's some magic because of the witches. And what's so funny is the whole point of this book, the reason that the witches really do sort of come together is because there's a suffragettes group who is trying to get the vote for women. And the youngest sister is like, why aren't we using our power for this? Why are we literally giving in to them and their power? Why aren't we using everything we have to make this happen? And so it's bigger than that. There's more than that. It's literally like three books in one. It's so good. It was one of the first 5-star books I've read in a really long time. I could not recommend it enough. So good. All right. So the holiday books that I read, we don't have in the library. In fact, they're not. One of them just got published, and I'm not sure when the other one's coming out. So I'm going to talk about them briefly, but then I'm going to talk about some holiday books we have in the library. So the first is All I Want for Christmas, and it's a YA holiday romance. The young girl is named Bailey after It's a Wonderful Life. And so it's a YA romance, right? So there's a love triangle. There's two boys. There's this one kind of rude boy, and there's just one super sweet boy who's really light on the commitment. And so the super rude boy, she decides like, no, but the super sweet boy is kind of distant and hands off, and we find out why that is towards the end. But it's good. It's just a cute YA romance that is set in a holiday time, which I am a fan on, and the girl works at a big store, so that's a win-win, right? All right, In a Holidaze is so cute. If you've ever seen Groundhog Day, you know the premise. Some stuff happens. Apparently her parents, they're divorced, but they still spend every Christmas together because they have a group of friends who all get together at one friend's cabin, and they've been doing this for 20 years, and they all get together and spend the week before Christmas together, and they have their traditions, they have their, snowman building, they have their sledding, they have all these things they do predictably year after year after year. And it starts with the girl has a really bad night. She makes out with one of the brothers whose family also comes to this. And she regrets it because the next morning he's horrible to her. And she's like, what have I done? And what happens is, in Groundhog fashion, she gets a chance to do it again. And so she keeps waking up back on a plane, going towards the cabin. So she has multiple chances to get it right, which, as in every movie like this, she makes a lot of mistakes on the way, but it's super cute. And so if you see it at the public library, get it. We will probably get it eventually. We won't have it in time for the holidays, though. So let me talk about some of the holiday books we do have. What Light? This young girl lives in Oregon, but every year in December, her family moves down to California to sell Christmas trees at a Christmas tree lot. And while she's down there, there's a boy whose family works with hers. And you can imagine, she sees him 1 month a year. They're great friends, but there's no time to have a relationship. She's got a best friend in California, and she's got some best friends back home in Oregon. And it may be the last year ever that they go down to California to do this. And so it's kind of nostalgic. She's not sure she's ready to give it up yet. Super cute romance. Super cute. All right. 10 Blind Dates. This young lady goes to stay with her grandmother over the holidays because her older sister's having a baby and her parents have gone to visit and they get trapped there and they can't get home. And so her family, her giant family, decides they're going to set her up on blind dates. And you have to, there's some rules. You have to get to the board first thing in the morning and claim a day. And then you have to arrange the person and the date. And she has to go on it. So 10 blind dates later, she plays along nicely. Like, there's a lot of eye rolling. I can't believe I'm letting my great uncle so-and-so set me up with some boy. But it's super cute. And it's super nice to see a family that's really close and has that kind of trust that she knows that even though it may not be the love of her life, she's still probably going to have a good time and things are going to go well. So cute. This one, The Afterlife of Holly Chase. So this is a very Scrooge sort of book where she's visited by 3 ghosts to talk to her about what a selfish, spoiled human being she's become, right? I mean, that sounds familiar. It was really good. I read it last Christmas with my book club, and it was great. So we have that to check out if you're interested. And we have the other books, and we actually have a whole front display of Christmas books. So there are more holiday romance. We've got some zombie Christmas books up there. There are a lot of holiday themed books. We have one about Hanukkah. Unfortunately, we only have a children's book about Kwanzaa, and it's checked out right now. But there are a lot of books to choose from. So if you're looking for some holiday reads, come see us.